Tulsa Music Stream. And now, your hosts, Scott, Jana, and Nine. You wanted the dirt on Tulsa. You got it.
Hey guys, Tulsa Music Stream. I believe this is number, 35?
This is 36, believe it
36.
or not. Yes.
All right. Thank you guys. This is our Ron Keel edition. We can't wait to talk to him. He's going to be on here shortly. We're going to do our little banter first, our little pre-show.
Our little comedy routine.
Right.
It's just like we're in the batter's box taking practice swings,
We're
right?
the opening act.
Yeah. So first thing first is make sure you share, and thanks for everyone for being here. Share on your personal pages if you would, and your favorite rock and roll groups and your favorite pages, whatnot. Anyway, we also are on multiple platforms. We are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, and we are on, I want to say Instagram, but that's not true. Twitch, and also, of course, Facebook as well. My name is Scott. This is Tulsa Music Stream. This is Nine, and that is Jana.
Hi.
Thanks.
Good episode tonight, man. Ron Keel, man. I grew up, of course, in the 80s, and there was some bands that weren't quite Motley Crue and weren't quite Rat and weren't quite Kiss, and I got into a few of those bands, and Keel was definitely one of them for me. So I'm excited to have Ron on tonight.
Yeah, I rocked out that cassette, man, and then I went back and got the first one, Above the Law, and then
Lay Down the Law,
and then also Steeler, and then of course when the Final Frontiers came out, Mark actually got that first, and I was like really jealous, so I went and got it.
So yeah, it's going to be Ron's a hardworking dude.
No doubt.
He's a man that wears many hats, and we're excited to have him on tonight.
For
so
sure.
He's coming up soon.
For sure. And he totally gets the importance of online presence, and we're going to talk about that too, because his website is amazing. We want to give a shout out to all you folks in the chat room. Ann Hunt, Michelle Cummings, Yvette Verrett, David Starr, Freddie Ferguson, Mario Anguiano, I hope I'm saying that right, Kimberly Thornton, Michael D. Avanon, Kenneth Young, Mick Mars, Rudy Gonzo, Marty Overbay, and Tony Keeler, just to name a few. We appreciate you guys being here. The numbers are looking good already. And like we said, Ron is going to be just a fascinating interview. He works so hard. And, I'm going to tell him this. I'll tell you guys this as well. He does not rest on the laurels of his past. He's all about being in the here and now, which makes him that much cooler.
Sure, and you can understand that too. You want to be relevant now.
Of course.
Not for what you. A lot of bands are relevant for what they did in the 80s, and they're out doing it still. Yeah. And while he does that, he also he lives now, and he has new music and new stuff. So we're going to talk about all that stuff.
Definitely.
But we will twist his arm and go in the past as well.
Sure,
I'm sure we will.
Well, he's got a cool history. He's got a history of Gene Simmons. He's got a history with Yngwie Malmsteen, who Rick Fox also had that same history with Yngwie.
Yes.
So it's I love when things come full circle. You know,
Me too.
we'll have half of Steeler now. And,
Wow.
And
We need to find the other guys.
we're not
don't
going to
we?
get Yngwie on, I can guarantee you. So
Hey.
that's okay, though.
Aim high.
Yeah.
You never know.
You know.
You never know.
He might throw something at us.
And again, we are on YouTube, and if you are watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, and that doorbell thing will give you a notification when we go live. So
It
hit
will.
that, slam it.
Hope you guys have been good.
Definitely so. We do have a few minutes. We got some cool news that I was unaware of until last night. I'm going to put this up real quick. I guess Lynn Hernandez dropped us a message that Cimarron Bar is doing a special event to celebrate Tulsa Music Month. And there will be 3 acoustic performances. Artists are to be announced. And this is going to be held Thursday, July 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Cimarron Bar back patio at 2619 South Memorial here in Tulsa. So that's going to be a really cool event. You know, as we always tout on this show, how proud we are of our hometown and how much talent there is and how much passion there is for music here. And that's just another way to celebrate with some really cool acoustic acts.
Hello from Sweden.
Wow.
Hello.
Hello, Sweden. How are you?
Hello. Is that Yngwie Melsness? I hope I'm saying that right. That is amazing. Welcome to Tulsa Music Stream. Thanks for tuning in. Super cool of you to be here. Guys, we have a lot of really cool episodes coming up. It's just amazing who all we've gotten to agree to come on with us. Wednesday, July 21st will be Jizzy Pearl of Quiet Riot.
Sorry.
And then just 4 days after that, we're finally going to get to catch up with Greg Chasen of Badlands and Atomic Kings. And Jeff Shield from Gravity Kills has agreed to join us that night as well. And then just 4 days after that, I mean, that's 3 streams within 8 days. That's pretty cool. Thursday, July 29th, episode 39 with Mike Kroger of Nickelback. So that's going to be fantastic as well. Episode 40, the one and only Billy Sheehan will join us on Thursday, August 5th.
That'll be great.
I know. And we just picked up a new one just a few days ago. His name is Andrei Smirnov, and he's the guitar player for Udo Dirkschneider. Udo.
That's just the name, Udo.
Do
Udo.
not fuck with me.
Oh, yeah, the band is just called Udo. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Udo, who used to sing for Accept. So the really cool guests just keep rolling in here. And
I see we got closed captions going on.
Do we?
Do we?
I think so.
Oh, I don't see them on mine, but that's cool.
Okay, maybe I just have mine turned on.
Hey, look at this. We've got I just looked down at my
Cool.
phone. We also have Chuck Hunt in here from Bluffton, Indiana. He's a Keelaholic. Hell yeah, brother.
How you doing, Chuck?
And then Helio Noguera, it says, hello, rockers from Canada. This is wonderful. We're so glad to have
What's
you
up,
guys
Canada?
in here.
Yep. We'll be giving away some concert tickets after the interview. Stephen Pearcy and the one and only Sebastian Bach. It will be live at the IDL Ballroom. I believe that is August 14th, I believe.
Don't let that trip you up. I just
Of course not. She has a beautiful voice.
she does, and that's something I can't mute. Here's Ron. He's already ready to get in here with us.
All right.
Super cool. Let's get him on here. I love that. A man on time. Let me switch to his screen here. Well, it's black. There he is.
Ron
Mr.
Keel.
Ron Keel.
Hey, buddy.
Good evening.
How you doing, buddy?
You look great. How you doing?
Fantastic. I'm doing great. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity.
We're so glad you're here with us. Ron, we've got a lot to get into with you, and I just want to kind of lay...
He's the metal cowboy.
He is the metal cowboy. And
The
he
Metal
looks the part.
Cowboy
Look at
reporting
that.
for duty.
Absolutely.
Let's do this.
I always wanted to call you a speed demon, though. You know?
Hey, that applies. I've been called worse.
Now, Ron, I hope you're not going to short us on the doorbell for the promotions.
No, that was edited by the other guy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Well, we just went ahead and did you the favor by putting your website up on the screen, ronkeel.com, so you don't have to hold that note card up all night long with us.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You got it, man. So let's lay the groundwork here. And I was just bragging on you before we brought you on, saying that you are not a man that rests on the laurels of your past. You're all about the here and now and staying relevant. And Ron, your website is just so extensive, and it shows how many different things you have going on. Why don't you give us like a top-level view of all your current activities, and then we'll start digging into them in more detail.
Well, thank you. And to preface that, I treasure the past and the accomplishments and all the dreams come true. over the past 40 years in this business, but I can't spend too much time looking back or I'll trip over the next speed bump. I am focused on the future, the now, live for today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed to any of us. And I want to continue to enjoy my life and create music and entertain people and do what I do. The stuff that happened the last 40 years is all a big part of that. And that's the reason why I'm still here. But I believe in living for today. I learned some good, hard lessons early on in my career that taught me that this might be your last song. This might be your last day. We've all lost friends and loved ones. And I know that we're all on a one-day contract. So I want to spend the rest of my life doing the best I can to live each day to the fullest.
Wonderful.
It's a good attitude.
Well, I do tell you that all three of us, especially me and this guy, we are fans. I mean, when we were 14 years old, so we know a little bit about you. So we're gonna have fun, and it's a pleasure to have you on our show. And
it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. And you guys have been absolutely gracious and totally professional leading up to this interview. And I'm excited to be here and share my thoughts, and this time with you and your audience and your listeners.
Thank you so much.
That's really great. Well, when a lot of us were locked down in 2020, not producing much, it sounds like 2020 was one of your biggest years yet. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. Did you really release 4 albums in 2020?
We did. I released 4 albums last year in 2020. The South by South Dakota album by the Ron Keel Band, the Emerald Sabbath Project, the Steeler compilation, which is it's 40 years old, but it was a trip down memory lane for a lot of the old hardcore Steeler fans. It's called Come Hell or Hollywood. There you go, showing it on the screen. Thank you for that.
You bet.
And there was one more. What was it? I'm sure you have it.
Well, what
I
did
can't
you put this one out?
Alone at Last, the deluxe edition. Absolutely, the Alone at Last deluxe edition of the CD, and 5 music videos last year. Of course, 2020 was a tough year for all of us with the lockdown, the COVID-19 pandemic, and trying to figure out a way to keep doing what we do and what we love to do and entertaining folks, whether it's online or on stage. That's what I want to do. I was born to entertain people, and we were lucky enough last year before the pandemic to do the Monsters of Rock cruise. And Cozumel and Belize, and had a couple of Keel shows on the boat and a couple of Ron Keel solo acoustic gigs as well. And then I went to my first tour ever of Australia, which was a bucket list thing, a dream come true.
Wow.
We went to Australia, did 5 shows, and it was absolutely an amazing experience. But we were starting to see the headlines on the news in the hotel rooms in Australia about this COVID-19 pandemic. And then literally a week after I got home, the lockdown happened. So I was glad to get those dates under my belt before we got locked down or shut down. But still here living in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the wild, wild Midwest, where I'm talking to you from now, we never shut down in 2020. And we were able to do the Sturgis Rally, the Fair, some big festival and events last year in South Dakota, Missouri, Minnesota, throughout the Midwest here. Never enough, but I was glad to stay active. The longest I went without a gig was 3 months. So I'm thankful for that. But as you see right here in the fan cave, this is my sanctuary at my house, the fan cave, where I literally have a PA system and a stage set up, and I can grab the microphone, crank up the speakers, and do what I do every day on a daily basis, and sing and write and perform, whether there's an audience out there or not. I am literally screaming my guts out to that wall behind you. And I see Madison Square Garden sold out in my mind's eye. So I tried to stay active and tried to continue to keep my voice and my chops in shape for when opportunity knocks. And now we're back on the road and doing some great shows this summer.
Cool.
It's something, your online presence, which is your electronic press, all the stuff that on your website is top notch.
Yes.
It didn't start with COVID though, and I heard you explain that it started in 2017 with your wife's illness, and you of course started to go online with your Patreon and your I don't want you to talk about that a little bit.
That's correct. In 2017, I rebranded what was called the Badlands House Band, which was the band that we had here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, that represented a huge multi-million-dollar entertainment franchise. We were hired for this job. I was hired for the job as the leader of the Badlands House Band, and literally given a carte blanche to put together my dream team of musicians. And I recruited the guys that I loved and the guys that I wanted to play with. In 2016, that business shut their doors, and we rebranded this thing as the Ron Keel Band. And we were off to a great start in early 2016, or late 2016, early 2017, when we had a lot of shows on the books, a lot of great opportunities in front of us. But my wife was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And as anybody knows, I'm sure so many of the people that are watching and listening have been affected by cancer, whether it's you or a family member or a loved one or a friend. When you get that diagnosis, everything changes.
Yes.
It's literally, it's a pivoting moment in your life and your mentality. All of a sudden I realized I can't go on the road this year. I can't leave home. I've got to be there with her through multiple surgeries. I think 9, maybe 12. I lost count. Surgeries, chemotherapy, radiation treatments, the whole, and we had a happy ending. She is cancer-free and healthy now. I'm very thankful for that. But I went to my band and I said, I can't tour this year. I can't leave. I can't go too far from home until she's well or until she's better. And the guys in the band could have gone anywhere and moved away or done other gigs or found other opportunities, but they all stuck with me. And the result of that was the fact that they just came to my basement here where I'm sitting right now, and we wrote an album called Fight Like a Band, which is a very personal statement. And we still, literally every text message that we send to each other every day has the little hashtag, Fight Like a Band. It became more than a song, more than a statement. It became a way of life for us. And those guys in the band stuck with me through thick and thin. And we've been together now for almost 7 years, pounding the road and creating some great music together.
Awesome.
You know how hard it is to
public. I want to publicize. Of course, my wife wrote a book about that cancer experience. It's called Anything But Pink, and it's an extremely positive book about the fight and the battle that she went through. You can get that at reneekeel.com. I was fortunate enough to add my footnotes at the end of every chapter about what it was like to go through that experience as the husband, the caregiver, the guy who, was trying to be there for her and help her through that process, and at the same time as rebuilding the band and writing new songs and creating Fight Like a Band, the album that we're extremely proud of. This you can see in the very first verse of that song, when the doctors came in and gave her the news, she cried and she smiled. She did what she had to. The first chorus is not Fight Like a Band, it's Fight Like a Girl. And literally that song was my statement about what we were going through in both my family and my marriage, but also what we were going through as a band.
Right.
And those guys stuck with me and fought like a band right alongside me through that process, and it made us all stronger in the end.
And so you're both survivors, because every spouse that ends up with cancer, the other spouse is also a survivor because they go through a lot too. I say my dad died of it. I watched my mom help him out, and so it takes a lot out of you. And it's very cool that there's 2 authors in the family. So
no doubt.
You and your wife. So that's pretty cool.
And thank you. I appreciate that, Scott. And getting back to how that prepared me for the pandemic was, as soon as you get that diagnosis, you are locked down, so to speak. All of a sudden, her immune system was compromised, and you've got to sanitize every light switch, every remote control. You've got to wear the mask all the time. We were wearing the masks in 2017 during the cancer battle. So when the pandemic hit, I already had this platform built so that I could work from home on Patreon. It's called patreon.com/Ron Keel. And I thought that I had a unique ability to entertain people online, both with unreleased content, classic videos from the 80s. You want to see the first Keel show ever? You'll find it on my Patreon.
Wow.
The interaction, the community that we've built on Patreon has been, those people are my support group. Those are the Keelaholics. Those are the people that have kept me sane and solvent for the past almost 3 years now. So I can't thank the Keelaholics enough that are subscribing at patreon.com. It's $6.99 a month for all access. And for all access, you get literally all of me. You get the inside view of everything that I do, whether it's writing new songs, the backstage footage, the meet and greets, the merch discounts, ticket discounts, the whole thing. I give them as much as I possibly can because they have always been there for me.
That's great, man.
So tell me a little bit about Ron Keel Band and Keel. I know, you promote both of them. You do two different things. Is it just two different bands, two different types of music? Do you promote them differently, or just everything's just basically the same? Tell me a little bit about that.
That's a great question. That's a great question because it's really kind of tough to define. Keel is the band that got me where I am now, both in the 80s and with the reunion tour that we did, the 25th anniversary reunion shows that we did at Rocklahoma and M3 and all the big shows that we did, and our Streets of Rock and Roll album, which has now been released on vinyl, by the way. I gotta plug that. The Streets of Rock and Roll
nice.
vinyl edition, finally available. And Keel is a brotherhood and a really tight-knit family of guys that love each other and would do anything for each other. Ron Keel Band it's my vehicle to do whatever I want to do. Keel is, like I said, very well defined. You're going to do a Keel show, it's got to be Keel songs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you do a Ron Keel Band show, you're going to get the Keel songs, the Iron Horse songs, the Ron Keel solo songs, the Metal Cowboy tunes, and a lot of the Southern rock covers that we did on South by South Dakota. With Ron Keel Band, I can do anything. With Keel, I can do that Keel show and those 12 songs that really put us on the map back in the day. And so it is very tough to try and walk that line between the two. I love the guys in Keel, Mark Ferrari, Brian Jay, Dwayne Miller, Gino Arce, our bass player for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
These guys are my brothers, and I appreciate every opportunity to play with them and to do that Keel show. But it's very much like getting your old buddies back together every year or so and going on a fishing trip.
I want to say,
go ahead, please.
I wanted to say you mentioned earlier about your vocal performances and everything, and the thing that I noticed the difference, a lot of the stuff that how you sang in the early 80s and on the Keel albums as opposed to some of the Ron Keel stuff, and like Tears of Fire, for instance, you re-recorded it, but it seemed like you added a little bit more vibrato on your vocals as opposed to more of a rock and roll style voice that you had early in the early days. It seemed like you kind of developed a little bit more vocally. Am I correct there?
Well, I've had a lot of practice the last 35 years on singing Tears of Fire thousands of times. And one thing that always, and a lot of bands will re-record their old hits for various reasons, whether it's licensing or to own the masters or whatever. My motivation was strictly to hear that song sung properly. That's all I wanted. Because we own the rights to our masters and the publishing and all that. It wasn't about a legal thing. It was the fact that I wanted to sing that song properly, the way it should have been sung in the first place. But I was really green back in '86, man, when I cut that vocal. I was very young, still getting started. I've had a lot of practice the last 35 years, and I'd like to hear that song with this voice.
I think it's really cool that you have the different You have the Ron Keel. You're versatile. In other words, you could walk into a hard rock bar and you can pull it off. You can go to Sturgis and play and you can pull it off. You know, you're versatile like that, and I think that's really cool. And like she said, you didn't rest on your laurels from the 1980s. You continued to make music. So even advertising for this show, I talked about. We're going to talk to a really hard-working dude in the business, and then you got the radio show on top of it. What kind of satisfaction does having a radio show give you?
Man, it is a lot of work, as you know, because you guys are doing this broadcast.
Sure.
You know exactly what it's all about. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I get to create something special each week with the interviews and the featured guests and the new music that we showcase on the Streets of Rock and Roll. My radio show is really all about new music. I'm not playing old classic rock hits. Every now and then I'll throw in Black Sabbath or AC/DC, but the bulk of the content on my radio show is new music from new artists or new releases from our classic artists that are still out there delivering some great music. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate that. Getting back to the diversity, and I appreciate that compliment. Looking back on the 3 classic Keel albums, Right to Rock, 85, Final Frontier, 86, the self-titled album from 87, those are all really different recordings. Those records don't sound alike. Final Frontier does not sound like Right to Rock. The Somebody's Waiting, United Nations, 87 self-titled album doesn't sound like the previous 2.
I agree with
that
you.
Diversity became one of my trademarks early in my career with Keel, because those 3 records, those 3 Keel albums that are Billboard charting hits, they don't sound alike. And part of that was because I was still searching for who I was and what I wanted to do and trying to define what Keel was. I think we finally did that on that Streets of Rock and Roll album in 2010. We realized this is a Keel song. This is what we're all about. Those 80s anthems with the big background choruses and the twin guitar solos between Mark Ferrari and Brian Shea, and those big power grooves that commercial melodic heavy rock.
Sure.
But those 3 albums are very different and very diverse. I always was looking for the next challenge or the next opportunity or the next place to explore, the next challenge, so to speak. And I found those in so many different ways with country music, Southern rock, and you put it all together, it becomes metal cowboy music. And that's what I've been doing the last 20 years. Now, doing a Keel show is a huge challenge. I'll keep using that word challenge because everything we do, that I keep challenging myself. A couple of years ago, we did a show called Keel Fest in Columbus, Ohio, which featured the Ron Keel Band, Steeler for the first time in 35 years.
I remember.
And Keel. And it was a 3-hour show with no breaks. And I was able to get all my brothers under one roof for one night to have an incredible event called Keel Fest in Columbus, Ohio.
It's awesome.
And I'd like to think that diversity has given me somewhat of an identity. It has been difficult because the fans, they don't want you to keep doing what you did. They don't want to keep hearing the same record over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they don't want to hear something entirely different or entirely off center or off the map. And I've always just tried to follow my creative vision and do what I felt was fun for me. I realized early on that if you sell 3 million records, then there's billions of people who don't want to hear what you do, or they don't like who you are, what you do, and you can't please everybody. There's no way I can please everyone. I have to please myself and follow my own path and be myself and just do me, so to speak. And I appreciate the fans that have stuck with me through those really extreme twists and turns that my career has taken.
You did say that you own your masters and everything. I've noticed on Spotify, and I've noticed a lot of artists, sometimes they won't have one of their marquee albums on Spotify or, somewhere where you can stream. And Final Frontier, I can't find that on there. Is there a reason why you don't have that on there?
Oh, well, perhaps I misspoke. We do not own the masters. Universal owns the masters.
Gotcha.
We own our publishing. We own the songs.
Okay.
But we do not own the masters to those. Rock Candy Records licensed The Final Frontier and the self-titled album a couple of years back and remastered those records, and they sound fantastic. But we do not own those master recordings, except for the right to rock. And that's a huge jumble of red tape and legal bullshit that we can't navigate. But we don't own the masters. So, but my point was the fact that I re-recorded Tears of Fire and Right to Rock, and Somebody's Waiting, and Because the Night was not because we don't own the masters. It was because I wanted to sing them like a man, finally, after 35 years of practice. We do own the publishing on our compositions, but we don't own those masters.
Well, it's an amazing album, and it's one of your, one of my favorite albums that you have. And of course,
and Final Frontier, your question was, why is not Final Frontier on Spotify? And that's a really good question. That's universal, man. There's too much red tape for me to wade through. I apologize to our fans who want to hear Final Frontier on Spotify, but you can hear several of those songs done properly at my Spotify at Ron Keel and Ron Keel Band.
Hey, speaking
and
of,
I'm going to have a shot. I'm going to plug this real quick. This is Monday. It's Monday. I know it's Tuesday, but this is Monday. This is non-alcoholic whiskey.
Oh, wow.
And I have developed quite a taste for this. I don't drink at the gigs or during interviews, but this is really sweet stuff. It's very expensive, like $60 a bottle.
Wow.
But I'm going to do a shot of this Monday whiskey. And cheers to you guys.
Hey,
and your
I
audience
have
and your
Bud.
listeners.
I have Bud Zero. So there you go.
Yep, Scott is
Right
on
on.
the wagon.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Ron, whenever we had Rick Fox on the show a couple months ago, I had posted in the Steeler group that former bass player for Steeler, and you actually posted on there and corrected me and said, no, we are going to make some new music. So
that's right. Rick Fox is the bass player in Steeler, not former.
Gotcha.
No,
I gotcha. And I was quite proud to be. I was quite proud to be told what by you. But hey, what I want to know is, when are we going to see some of that new Steeler music?
2022, man.
Nice.
And this is probably the first time I've spoken about this in a public interview, but you guys have given me the platform, and we are far enough along in the process now to where I can at least give you a few details about the Keel World project. And this is by no means my grand finale or my farewell or my last record, but never say never. And you never know when, like I said earlier, we're all on a one-day contract.
Sure.
What I'd like to do at this point is create new music from all of my beloved projects through the years. And I'm still good friends with almost everybody in every band. Yngwie Malmsteen, no, not so much.
Sure.
But pretty much everybody else, we're still like family. So I would like to create an album with new Keel music, new Steeler music, new Ron Keel Band music, new Fair Game, new Iron Horse, not re-recordings of our old stuff or unreleased bootlegs or whatever, all new music from all of these projects. And we are writing new Keel music as we speak right now. And I've got a ton of songs in the pipeline trying to figure out, is this a Fair Game song? Is this an Iron Horse song? Is this a Ron Keel Band song? There will be music from all of those projects on this next Keel World project. I can't give away too many details about the release date or the record label right now until all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. But this is a bucket list thing for me. I always try and do something bigger, better, something special. I want to make history. I want to do something that really leaves a mark. And I think if it's my last record, then it will be one hell of a statement from me about my entire 40-year career with new music from all those projects. So I'm excited to pursue that. We're going to get recording here in September, and we'll have new Steeler music featuring Rick Fox, Mitch Perry on lead guitar for Steeler. All the guys in Keel are on board. Fair Game, my guys in Iron Horse. The Ron Keel Band will have a number of tracks. A lot of great new songs from the Ron Keel Band on this Keel World project.
Will this be a double album?
It probably
a quadruple.
It could be. It could
I
be.
think it's a
Depending
smart
on how
idea.
many great songs we end up with. I would like to make it as special of a package as I possibly can, and make it as big and as exciting as it deserves to be.
Now, Kiss just recently put out a documentary. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I did. I loved it.
It was really cool. And when I was watching it, when it got to the part where Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, we knew he was producing, the 80s albums and stuff, and Gene was off doing movies and producing other bands, and, Black and Blue and Keel. The first guy that came to my mind was you. For one, we had you coming up on an upcoming show with us, but I was sitting there watching that, thinking, I wonder if Ron has some inside scoop to what was kind of going on between Gene and Paul back then, and maybe you did, maybe you didn't, tension between the two when he was off producing you guys.
No, as far as I know, and I was right there with Gene and Paul during that process, and Paul was extremely supportive of Gene producing The Right to Rock and The Final Frontier, and extremely supportive of me as well. We would go into a club in New York after the session was done, and Gene and the guys in Keel and I would go out, and Paul Stanley would be there, and Paul would introduce me to everybody who was anybody and say, "This is Ron Keel. This is the future of rock and roll." And Paul was extremely supportive of whatever Gene was doing. We didn't get any inclination of any tension or anything like that. Obviously, what came out in the documentary was the fact that Paul was wanting Gene to focus more on Kiss or whatever, but at the time I did not feel or experience any of that.
I must say though that the reason, and I was a really big Keel fan. I was 14. No. Let me elaborate. I was about 14 or so when I found out that Gene Simmons was producing this band called Keel. Of course, I was a Kiss fan, so I bought The Right to Rock and, of course, loved it. I was like, wow. But for me, and as a 15, 16-year-old kid at the time, The Final Frontier was the masterpiece for me. It was every single song on the album was. So I personally want to thank you, because when I think of The Final Frontier, music is something that's evokes emotion and feelings in you, and I can when I listen to the songs off The Final Frontier, I can go back to that 10th grade year of mine, and I want to thank you for that, because it was part of the soundtrack of my youth, and I appreciate that. I love the
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's pretty much everybody's favorite Keel album, and certainly our highest charting album in 1986. And also, still, that record testifies to my diversity. You've got the metal of Rock and Roll Animal and No Pain, No Gain. You've got the commercial rock of Just Another Girl or Because the Night. You've got the power ballad, Tears of Fire. You've got the classical piece, Nightfall, which leads into No Pain, No Gain. So it's a very diverse album. And certainly, I'm really proud that particular release is a special part of so many fans' youth and upbringing, the soundtrack of their lives and all that. It was a dream come true for me, because Gene believed in my vision at that time and let me kind of run free in the studio to create so many different styles of songs. Here Today, Gone Tomorrow, which is still a part of our show. Thank you. And that Gene says, this sounds like Bad Company, and No Pain, No Gain sounded like it was metal. Just Another Girl was like Journey or whatever. I mean, it was a lot of different styles and textures on that record, which really was what I wanted to be in the first place. I wanted to take the audience and the listener on a ride, on a journey. I want every song to have its own identity and to take you on this trip when you're doing that album listening experience, that no one song, I think, defines that record. I think the fact that Because the Night was the first single, and this is well documented, the fact that that was the first single was a huge nail in our coffin, because to follow up The Right to Rock, which was the only single off the first album, we didn't have a second single or video off.
It should have been Let's Spend the Night Together, because that was
it should have been.
Great cover.
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree. but we had sold so many records, the record company said, well, screw it, let's just go back and do a new album. They didn't even think about releasing a second single.
And of course, by this
Rock.
time, they're pushing the hair ballad songs as, you know, the singles instead of the ones that rock hard. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Final Frontier, the song, should have been the first single, in my opinion. And I have to admit, some of my early days listening to you, me and my friend, we'd, you know, do little parties and little, you know, lip syncing shows where we dress up like rock stars, and we'd have a whole set of 80s rock music, and either The Right to Rock was always the first song out, or The Final Frontier, just because it had an intro, and in it, you know, you got to have an intro. But I just, you know, those were the days when, you know, before I even knew how to play any kind of an instrument, I was rocking out to a whole street block of kids
with a
watching
tennis racket,
with tennis rackets and baseball bats.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad to be a part of the soundtrack of your youth. And that title track, The Final Frontier, was a special song for me as well, because I realized after The Right to Rock that people were listening to the words and the lyrics and the message behind those. I wanted to do something positive, and instead of the doom and gloom and nuclear destruction, I wanted to say that same message, Star Trek, really, it's the final frontier, right? It's Star Trek. We are going to survive. We will survive, and we will explore the next frontier. Mankind, there is hope for all of us. And that was the message behind that song. And a lot of people didn't buy it. They wanted the death, destruction, doom and gloom.
Sure.
But I was the positive guy. I was the guy next door who said, hey, man, everything's cool, man. We're going to be all right. And nobody wanted to hear that.
Have you considered playing that album live all the way through? The Final Frontier?
I have not.
That would be kind of cool.
Well,
Ron, do you have a few more minutes to spend with us? Because these guys have dominated you, and I want to ask you some questions.
I'm in. It's all good. I'm having a good time, and I appreciate the discussion.
We
Thank
also
you.
have
Whatever you want to do, Jonna.
We also have a chat room full of people watching as we're doing this. So.
Yes, we
Oh,
do.
yeah?
And they have comments and questions as well, and
Let's
are going to
bring it on. Let's do it.
We're gonna get to some of this, but let me ask you a couple of quick questions. Actually, one comment and then a couple of questions. I play guitar as well, and you know I have the luxury of hiding behind a bunch of distortion and delay and reverb. But here you are, and you go out there with your acoustic guitar, and anybody who plays guitar knows that the acoustic guitar is very unforgiving. Talk a little bit about just, I mean, do you obviously you relish playing the acoustic guitar. You're not afraid to go out there and do it, but talk about kind of how you approach those shows differently. Your
No, I do not relish it. I'm scared shitless. I do not relish it.
Yes.
It's just my skydiving. The solo acoustic gigs, it's like I'm jumping out of the airplane and I've got no choice. Either I'm going to crash or I'm going to land safely.
Yes.
But I did a solo acoustic album in 2005, 2006 called Alone at Last. The deluxe edition is now available, remastered with bonus tracks. And really proud of that stuff. And it became when Kiss did MTV Unplugged, and so many of these, Tesla, the 5-man acoustical jam.
Yes.
Bands like Kiss and Tesla really made the acoustic format comfortable, or at least achievable for guys like me. And I always was the guy at the bar after the gig. I would grab my acoustic guitar and I'd sit at the bar and I'd sing and play until my fingers bled or until my voice was gone.
Right.
I'm always the guy around the campfire, you know, with the guitar, singing for my friends and playing the old songs or cover songs or, you know, my favorites. So the acoustic guitar has been my soft spot, even though it's really, obviously you said it's unforgiving. Mm-hmm. I thought that the opportunity to do that solo acoustic album was the biggest challenge and one of the most difficult sessions of my entire career, because I played everything, all the solos, all the bends, all the really tough stuff, and the overdubs on the 12 string. And I'm really, really proud of that session. Listening back now, I don't even know how I did it.
Yeah.
So I thought I should go out and do some solo acoustic shows. Mm-hmm. In fact, even rewinding before that, when Keel was on tour with Bon Jovi or Van Halen or Motley Crue or whatever, I'd come home and we'd be home for months at a time. And I would grow a beard, and I'd walk into a bar somewhere in Southern California and say, hey, my name's Ronnie. I'd like to play. I'll sing and play for tips. And they didn't know it was Ron Keel. They had no idea it was Ron Keel.
That's cool.
And I'd get up there and I'd sing and play, you know, songs that I loved and songs that I felt, and just people didn't even know that who I was. And it kept me grounded. It kept me realizing that, you know, I'm in some little shithole bar, guys are playing pool, and nobody really cares who I am, or that I just played Madison Square Garden 2 weeks ago. It kept me grounded. It kept me who I am, kept me being me. So I was always doing those acoustic gigs just for that reason. And I don't even know why I did it. It was like, I got to go sing somewhere. I can't sit here for 5 months until we go on tour again. I've got to go sing somewhere. And you can't get the whole band and crew together. It's costing $10,000 a night or whatever. I gotta just take my guitar to a bar and sing and play. So I did the solo acoustic album in 2005, 2006. And I thought, I was doing a gig in Laughlin, Nevada, as a country music impersonating Ronnie Dunn from Brooks and Dunn, which was a great gig. I mean, the money was great. It was a fantastic show, big production, and I loved it. But it was a 6-night-a-week gig. We played every night except Monday. And Y&T, my old buddies from Y&T, had a gig in Vegas on a Monday night. I think it was March something, 2006. And I called up Dave Minichetti from Y&T. I said, dude, you're going to be in Vegas on March 2nd. Can I open for you? And he's, sure, yeah. Okay, I'm going to open for Y&T with my solo acoustic gig. And this is the Empire Ballroom in Vegas, packed house, couple thousand people.
Wow.
And I walked out there with just me and my acoustic guitar. Ooh. And the first time I did it, literally it was like singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl naked. It was really, really scary. Yeah. And I got out there and I started playing. And the first song of the show was Private Lies, which is a Keel song, which is a real screamer. It's not a laid back acoustic ballad. Right. This is a screaming tune. And by the end of the first song, they were mine. It was like, this is working. Wow. And I started telling stories about, here's Tears of Fire, and I'll tell you the story about how we wrote it and the first time I heard it on the radio. And you know, you go through this kind of chronological history of your career and your life through the acoustic shows. And it's now, after 17 years of doing it or whatever it's been, it's like singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl in a Speedo. It's much more comfortable. Right. But I certainly enjoy that. I've done it, and I've opened for Jackal, Quiet Riot, Y&T multiple times. I did the Y&T UK tour in Scotland, England, Wales in 2009. Wow. They took me on tour with them throughout the UK as their opening act. And you always get this. When you go out there, people are going, and then by the end of the first song, they're mine. It's just a huge thrill to win them over with these solo acoustic shows. Sure. So I do that when, you know, if they can't afford the whole band, because Ron Keel Band is expensive, and we try and go wherever we can go and play for whoever wants to see us or hear us play. But if there's an opportunity for me to get on a plane with my guitar and go entertain some people, I'll do that. I'm doing that in South Carolina. Here in a couple of weeks, I've got the South Carolina Siege. I've got Awandaw, South Carolina, Bluffton, South Carolina it's 4 nights in a row. Goose Creek, and then Myrtle Beach at Retroactive on July 31st. I've got 4 acoustic shows in a row in South Carolina. That's the South Carolina Siege. So any of your audience or listeners that are maybe near South Carolina, for that little run, that would be a great chance to just meet me and see some music, hear some music, shake a hand, and take a photo and enjoy a musical journey throughout my entire life and career. The Nashville Rockin' Pod in Nashville, Tennessee on August 6th and 7th. I'm doing the pre-party on the 6th and doing my solo acoustic show in Nashville for that pre-party, and then appearing at the event on the 7th. I do as many of those shows as I can. If the band's not available, or if they can't afford the whole band, they can usually, you know, I just want to stay active and keep doing that. And it is, like you said, Jonna, it is unforgiving, a huge challenge. to get out there and entertain people for 90 minutes with just my songs, my voice, my stories. And I enjoy that challenge. And I hope that everybody that comes to those solo acoustic shows goes home thinking that they heard and saw something special.
Sure.
Now, earlier you talked about doing some boat shows and going on some live cruises and stuff, and I know you played Rocklahoma. I think that was in 2009, and Rocklahoma is just right around the corner for us. So the fever for Rocklahoma is pretty high at this point. And we are a Tulsa music stream. I don't know of many shows you've done in Tulsa, but I did see you finally at Rocklahoma, and that was my first and only show that I have seen. And I got to have more.
I don't think that I usually do the research for people that we talk to because I'm interested in just how many times have they played Tulsa and when did they play. And I could not find anything on Keel until Rocklahoma, which is not really even in Tulsa. But we need to get you down this way.
Definitely.
Because I remember you played Kansas City just, a month ago, and with Jack Russell.
That's correct, yeah.
Rick Fox went up, and we all had a show the next night, a tribute show, but I wanted to come up there so badly and of course hang out and see the show and meet you. There's a picture right there.
Yeah, he's wearing our Tulsa Music Stream shirt.
Wow,
So
imagine
cool.
that, man. That's pretty crazy. But
it's me and Rick Fox and Jack Russell hanging out before the show. It's always like a family reunion at gigs like that, whether it's Rocklahoma, as you mentioned, or the Monsters of Rock Cruise, or any of these other events that we do. It really is like a family reunion. It's the Survivors Club. I mean, we're the guys that are still out here pounding out the music, and we survived, thank God. And we also never forget our brothers and sisters who didn't survive, whether it's those people that have passed away. Robin Crosby comes to mind, and Jan Kuhneman from Vixen, and so many, Ronnie James Dio, God, the list goes on, of all the people that were family to us that have not survived. So we're kind of all carrying on in their honor as well to carry the flag and keep doing that. Now, the booking policy, I know, I would love to come to Tulsa. My booking policy is simple. I'll go anywhere and I want to play for you. That's it. The bottom line is, if people say, you need to come here, we want you to come there, it's really difficult. Yesterday I posted on my social media and on my website, I think it was probably 14, 16 shows that we've got confirmed for the next few months. And all you're going to get when you do that is, why aren't you coming here? We want you here. You don't love us? And yes, we love you. I will go anywhere. I went to Cozumel, Belize, Australia last year. I went to Missouri, Minnesota. I'm going to South Carolina. I'll go anywhere. But that business is out of my control.
Yes.
It takes I am one of those difficult animals. I'm right in the middle somewhere between big time touring support act and bar band. So I'm somewhere in the middle where it's difficult to put those dates together and to get to where we need to go. Gas is expensive. I've got a big show. I mean, the Ron Keel Band, 6-piece band, 3 crew, 2 touring vehicles with the 8 miles to the gallon, and you've got to string together 3 or 4 shows
to make it worthwhile. Sure. To
make it to where I'm not losing money. I don't need to make money, but my band's going to get paid. My crew's going to get paid.
Sure.
My expenses have to be covered, and it's really, really difficult. I want to come there and play for you. That's why so many solo acoustic gigs, because I can get on a plane for a lot cheaper and do those. But Ron Keel Band has got to get to the West Coast, man. We've got to do Texas, Oklahoma. We've got to do the Northeast. This band and this show is what I've dreamed of all my life to be able to do, and we are able to do it and do it on a very high level as a national act with a great show. I've got 5 guys behind me that are absolutely world-class musicians. Testament to that is that a couple of weeks ago we did the Kick It Up Country Festival in Carlstadt, Minnesota, just up close to the Canadian border. And we were offered the Wednesday night, the opening night of the festival. It's a 4-night festival. The opening night is the rock night, where we have Hairball, the ultimate 80s rock tribute, and the Ron Keel Band. And we went out there on Wednesday night, and did our full-on hard rock metal show with Right to Rock and Somebody's Waiting and Tears of Fire and Fight Like a Band and all the good hard and heavy stuff. I told them I'll do the Wednesday if I can do the Friday with Black Hawk and Dwight Yoakam. So we did this. We did the rock show on Wednesday, day off on Thursday. On Friday night, we were opening for Dwight Yoakam. And we did our Southern Rock tribute show. And this band is really suited to any of those events. If you've got a rodeo or a rock club or anything in between, or a festival like Monsters on the Mountain, Monsters of Rock Cruise, M3, my band would crush any of those gigs. I would put us up with any of those acts that are playing on those bills. We have been fine-tuned and just driven and grinding hard for the past 7 years, really well-rehearsed, and playing all the Keel hits. Because the Night, Right to Rock, Somebody's Waiting, Rock and Roll Outlaw, Tears of Fire. My band delivers all those songs. And if whatever the event calls for. Saturday night, just a couple of nights ago, we did a 3-hour show. We did 2 90-minute sets containing all of those songs and just crushed it. So I'm extremely confident in my band's ability to deliver the goods at any of those events. But you get this, it's not Keel, right? From the agency or the promoter. Well, it's not Keel. Well, it is the singer from Keel playing all the Keel hits with the Keel logo as a big part of their brand and delivering a really national act, world-class show. I don't understand the hesitance or hesitation from some of the big festivals and events to have Ron Keel Band on those bills, because we would crush it. We would give the audience what they came for, and we would draw some people as well. We'll sell some tickets, and we'll deliver the show.
That makes no sense, Ron, because how many of the 80s bands are out there with one remaining original member?
Or none.
Or like like Dokken, for example. I'm not picking on Dokken because I love Dokken, but that is really odd that would be the approach they're taking with you.
I refuse to call my band Keel, even though it's my last name. And this is a sticking point for me. It's not legal, it's moral. The guys in Keel, Mark Ferrari, Brian J., Dwayne Miller, those are my brothers. Those are my family. I'm not going out and doing a Keel show without them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to call it Keel and put a bunch of guys behind me and call it Keel, we would get booked. But I won't do that. It's not a legal thing. It's a moral thing.
No, but
I have the legal rights to the name.
Yeah.
And but I'm not going to do that. Those guys are my family, my brothers, and we've been through hell and back together. We're best friends for 35 years. I'm not going to shit on that.
No.
Well,
Good for you.
I hope promoters, get out there and book you more. I'm sure promoting's just it's just a tough job.
You want to go to the
but
chat room?
I do want to say you did say you were doing a show with Hairball, and I did see a video on Facebook with Stephen Pearcy. He came out there and was singing with Hairball. Did they invite you up on stage to sing with them?
We have done that before, and those guys are family, man. They are my bombastic brethren. We've done a ton of shows together here in the Midwest. They're based out of Minneapolis, and that's not far from me. We have a great mutual history together of a lot of big arena shows throughout the Midwest, and it's always great to be on the bill with them. I did sing. I think we've done the Right to Rock before together, and a couple of covers. I think I did a Kiss song with them once. Whenever the opportunity arises. But that is a great '80s tribute band, and obviously doing great business and having sellout crowds everywhere. And we're always glad to be on the bill with them. We have a great, not contrast, but complement to each other, because we are the '80s Southern rock. I mean, we'll do Right to Rock and Tears of Fire and Somebody's Waiting, Because the Night, and also those Southern rock covers from our South by South Dakota album, and give the audience a similar yet different experience every time we share the bill together.
Well, we're going to move to the chat room. There's a lot of questions. We have a lot of people in the chat room. They're posting questions and stuff. I do want to tell everyone who's watching to go to your website and subscribe to your Patreon, because there are we didn't get into your Black Sabbath stint, and there's a lot of stuff on there. I think you have some recordings on there that they can go and listen to, or something like that.
Well, the cool thing about the Sabbath tribute is that you can go on my Patreon page and watch a 30-minute highlight of the Keel Sabbath tribute show from a couple of months ago in Ohio at a great bike event that we did, the debut show of Keel Sabbath, and we did all the Sabbath classics, and really, really proud of that. Love to do more of that. But on Patreon, it's been up there for 3 years. There's a ton of content, man. There's hundreds of videos, hundreds of unreleased songs, demos, interaction. I do live chat online for hours on end. I'll hang with my fans online. You're going to hear the new songs as I write them and develop them. We've got songwriting workshops, vocal lessons, guitar lessons, everything I could possibly do to engage my people. And they have become my tribe, my family online, hundreds of them that really, it's not even about me anymore. It's about each other. And they are all interactive on the Keelaholics Facebook page and on the Patreon page. It's become a huge part of my life and my career, and I can't thank those people enough for their support. It's $6.99 a month, and it's for the cost, literally, of the cost of buying me a beer, or a beer and a shot. You're gonna get a lifetime's worth of cool shit. I mean, it's just really a great bargain, and I appreciate the fans that have stuck with me. Now they're getting their 3-year chips. We give a chip out for every year that you're a member.
Oh, wow.
And
Awesome.
we've got some fans getting their 3-year chips here in September, so I'm really proud of that.
That's so cool. Awesome.
Well, if
Jana, go ahead and ask the first question.
we're not going to hold you
do it.
much longer. You've been so gracious with your time. Thank you so much.
No, it's cool. I'm in now. I'm in. What the hell else am I going to do today? Rehearsal's over.
The people has held ground during this whole interview,
Yes.
and they are still
Cool.
posting. And if you would, after the show can go in, if you would, hit like or answer maybe some of these questions we can't get to, but they are all over the place. We got people from all over.
Australia,
Yeah.
Germany.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty amazing. You do have a great fan base. So let's start with Chuck Hunt's question. He says, Ron, is it harder for you to record versus playing for the fans? You don't miss a beat.
Well, they're both different challenges. Recording is forever. When you are in the studio and the mic's in your face, you are creating something that's going to last longer than today, or longer than I'm going to be alive. So it's a different challenge. They're both very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job to make it look easy and sound easy, but it's not. None of it's easy.
For sure. Well, Mark Butler wants to know if you are going to be at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally this year.
Mark Butler knows damn well I'm going to be at the Sturgis Rally for 3 nights at the Full Throttle Saloon, August 10th, 12th, and 13th. The Ron Keel Band at the Full Throttle Saloon for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. And we can't wait to see all of our fans. That's kind of like our residency each year.
I was
when
going
we
to ask
do the
you.
rally. And the biker community has been so supportive and so helpful to us, because they'll come from all over the country to the Sturgis Rally, and we get to reunite with them every year. This year at the Full Throttle Saloon, August 10th, 12th, and 13th.
I
We're
bet
looking
that's
forward to
fun.
it.
I'm sure that's really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Mars says, RKB kicks Major Arse. Long live the Metal Cowboy from the Metal Plowboy. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That is the Metal Plowboy. He's a hardworking farmer in Minnesota, and I love that guy. He's one of my best supporters and one of my best friends.
We
Thank you
for tuning in.
Jay Mars.
Cheryl Wright says, Ron never rests.
I would agree with that.
Well, I usually take a nap between midnight and 2 a.m. just to
Ooh.
let you know, unless I have a gig.
I don't know how you do it, man. That's amazing.
We have a guy who lives here in Tulsa, and he's in the hospital with COVID. He did get online, and he posted, sorry I was late, I won't make it till the end, but tell Ron to hell yeah, keep grinding, I'll catch replay.
Aw,
Man, that's awesome. Thank you, and we hope you're feeling better and fully recovered very soon, dude.
definitely. Here's another comment from Chuck Hunt. He said, I don't think he sleeps. Alone at Last is my new favorite. And then we've got a comment from Jody Hickman. Says, it is not your normal acoustic show. Sitting on the bar stool, he wears the headset and runs around the stage like a normal rock show. That's super cool. Super
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, thank you, Jody. I appreciate that, and that's what I do. I the only difference is that I don't have to follow the drummer. I can slow down or speed up if I want to.
Right.
I'm just doing the rock show.
There you go.
And I can extend a piece, or I can talk, and I can do a little more latitude with my freedom to express myself than with the band show, which is very structured and timed out and choreographed and all that. The solo acoustic show is a little more on a wing and a prayer. And oftentimes I will look out there and try and figure out what we need during the course of the show at this point, and I may go out of order. I do not use a set list for the solo acoustic show. I have a list of options.
You just wing it
on the floor in front of me. These are options, and I'll look through those options as I build the show and kind of figure out what's going to work now, and maybe this song won't work right now. And some of these gigs are sit down where you've got an audience at tables with their cocktails, and they're really focused on the music. And then some of them are just wild and crazy party events where you just want to, get crazy. So you have to tailor your show to those events and give the audience what they want and what they need at any given moment.
Hey, Ron, speaking of playing your acoustic guitar, how fun were the Kiss Expos to do?
The Kiss Expos are a blast, man. I miss those. I'm not sure if we're going to do any more of them in the future. They were a huge blessing to me because being a small part of that Kiss tapestry, just being one little thread in the history of Kiss, enabled me to join guys like Bruce Kulick and all the other, Bob Kulick, his brother, to be a part of those Kiss Expos. And of course, part of the deal is you've always got to do an acoustic show or a performance for the convention.
I saw that.
And being able to do Hard Luck Woman or Beth in context with Tears of Fire.
Yeah.
Did I do that in Atlanta? I did, didn't I?
You did $1,000,000 to 1, right?
I did. That was part of the contract. It was literally part of the deal.
I remember you said that in the video, actually.
The promoter said he gave me a list of Kiss songs, and $1,000,000 to 1. What a great acoustic song. I'm hoping that I did it justice. It's been a few years. I haven't watched that.
Sounded good.
It was a lot of fun, and just any chance to do those Kiss Expos and reunite with the Kiss Army. Those people made me who I am. I'll tell you right now, when The Right to Rock came out in 1985, Gene Simmons produced this record, and that Right to Rock, the song itself, the anthem, that song, and the album cover artwork, the fact that Gene produced it, it was the perfect storm.
Sure.
The Kiss Army all bought it.
Yeah.
The week it came out, it was the biggest selling debut album in A&M Records history. And the Kiss Army really embraced us, and still to this day, as you can testify, has made us a part of that huge Kiss family. And that was our initial fan base. The Keel fans were the Kiss fans.
Right. I'm
in
one of those
1985.
guys. I'm one of those guys.
That's cool.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
This might be a good viewer question to kind of wrap things up with. I think this is a great question from Kenneth Young. He says, what would you tell the next generation concerning longevity?
Wow, that's a great question. And longevity really is the key, isn't it? I mean, for me, the fact that I've been here and done that for 40 years kind of gives me the credibility and the ability to keep going and keep doing what I'm doing. Right. The fact that I am now an elder statesman of this business, I take great pride in that. I am not ashamed to admit my age or my four decades, 40 years since Steeler was
look
born.
young.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's I am blessed with good genes and good health, and the spirit of rock and roll does keep me young. I admit that.
I say the same thing.
Absolutely. But with the new generation, I wonder how long will be some of these artists, some of these young up-and-coming bands will stand the test of time just like we did. It's inevitable. But it's very, very much more difficult now. I don't want to echo Gene Simmons' sentiments that rock is dead, but it's really, really difficult to make a living in this business. If I was just starting out right now, I don't know how I would do it, but the strong will always survive. The good music will always find a way to get heard, I hope. but it's dependent on a lot of factors: technology, the economy, social media, and who knows how that's going to change by the time the next generation gets to be my age. I don't know. My only advice to young people entering the business now is to it's really not rocket science. Do great work and do it as hard as you could possibly do it. I mean, you work hard, you got a good product, and you don't stop. You just don't stop. I was lucky enough to know who I was and what I was born to do at a very early age. So I never had any options or alternatives. There was no, maybe I should do this or do that. Now, of course, I've been a radio show host or an author or a consultant or a businessman or, you know, producer or whatever, but it's all centered around my music and my creativity and my career. I hope that young people entering this business will still aim high. Always aim for the stars. If you only get halfway there, I aimed high. I never had multi-platinum records, but I had, 3 million sales and a great run. So, you're not going to always reach every goal that you shoot for, but you got to keep shooting for them. And I applaud all the young people out there today that are still trying to express themselves and create music and entertain people. Because I'm a fan first. I want to hear great new music. I want to enjoy rock and roll and appreciate the younger generation. I just did a heavy metal television news segment today on this new up-and-coming band, a classless act that is opening the stadium tour with Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Poison. And I do the news on heavymetaltelevision.net, and I just thought it's so positive. These kids look like they're having a great time. They've got a great opportunity in front of them on that stadium tour. I don't know how they got it or how they got to where they are, and how with one single they're going to be on the stadium tour opening for Motley Crue and Poison and Joan Jett and Def Leppard. But God bless them. I applaud them. Dreams do come true. Follow your dreams, and someday your dreams hopefully will follow you.
For sure.
You have and you are having an extraordinary career. I didn't want to say had because it's not over. You're still going, and I don't know if you're ever going to stop, but
probably not.
And that's a good thing.
Don't stop.
But you have an upcoming movie that I think you're going to be in, and you also were in a Here I Go Again documentary, which we watched a few months ago. Me and Jana did, and we just loved it. It was so awesome on how you just kind of worked with those two and try to get their chops back up and all that. So you seem to be a real giving guy, and you gave me personally a lot to build up on musically. When I was nothing to now I'm playing and I'm getting up there in age now too. But I don't want to stop because you gave me the right to rock. But tell me,
You got it.
You
got it, brother.
And
you got to always believe that the best is yet to come. People, and I love our fans and how they treasure those magic moments from 30, 35 years ago. The 80s were so great, and those were the days, and those were the good times. And I'm telling you, man, today is the best day of my life until tomorrow. And that's the way I live. And if you're going to live, succeed, survive, and thrive and be happy every day of your life, that's my advice to you. Quit looking back and treasure each day and live while you can.
It's obvious looking at you, listening to you, watching what you do, that you truly feel that way, man. I love that your band and all the band members that you play with are all family. You have respect for them. You continue to do what you do because you love it, and that to me is inspirational. Because I'm a lifer. I'm a musician, and I'm a lifer, and that's and so watching you from afar is absolutely inspiring. And I want to say thank you for it.
For sure.
I appreciate that, and I'm just who I am, and I've come to terms with that a long time ago. And now finally I can just be myself in interviews like this, in the media and in public, as opposed to putting on an act or putting on a show. I can come on a show like yours and talk to you guys one-on-one and talk to your listeners, our audience, our fans, and just be myself. I appreciate that opportunity as well. And I'm very thankful for everything that I've been through, that I've gone through, and I'm thankful for everything that today has given me, and tomorrow is going to be even better. I want to keep making music and entertaining people and enjoying myself and living the dream. That's what it's all about. Whatever you find in life that does what music does to me, then it is an addiction. It is you're always chasing that next good show. Yes. And I'll tell my audience this from time to time. I'll look out there and I'll see that packed house with their fists in the air, and I will thank them and I'll tell them, I have been chasing nights like this all my life, and I will continue to chase nights like this and discussions like this one and opportunities like this one to entertain people and to make them feel something and to share a little piece of me with the people who might want to enjoy it or experience it.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Now, you said a lot in closing. You know, we want to, your fans out there, you seem to cherish them a lot, but that was pretty some closing words, already. But do you have some closing words you like to say to some of your fans who are listening to you right now?
I think that pretty much summed it up, man. That was a pretty epic conclusion there.
That was really good.
You're gonna make me follow that.
The climax, right?
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we again remind people that they need to be watching for Keel World?
Keel World.
And that sounds very exciting.
That's a cool album cover.
Very, very cool.
Yep. And make sure you subscribe to his Patreon.
Yes, let's put that up one more time. Patreon.
Check out the Patreon. It's patreon.com/Ron Keel. You can check it out. Subscribe for a month, and you're going to get a lifetime's worth of cool shit. And if you don't like it, just bail. But most people don't. We are at an all-time high in membership, and most people who gravitate to that realize that it is something special. And I give you everything I've got on that platform, patreon.com/Ron Keel, and lots more where that came from. The best is yet to come.
And it's cheap.
Yes,
yeah,
very much so. Ron, you are awesome. We're gonna keep in touch with you. If there's anything we can help you promote down the road, we're here at Tulsa Music Stream to help you get the word out.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for giving us so much of your time tonight. You're an inspiration.
Thank you, guys. I enjoyed it. Great discussion. Ron. I appreciate what you're doing, and you're doing it right.
Much respect to you, buddy.
We're green at it, but we're trying to build, man, and people like you coming on our show helps that.
We love music like you do.
I can tell. It's my pleasure,
awesome.
Guys. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Love you.
Good night, Ron.
Have a good one.
There you go.
Man, what a cool guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was awesome. Great.
So, wow.
Man.
My goodness. That was wonderful. I mean, I'm just shocked how many of these guys are just genuinely good people. He's one of them. And he's a promoting machine. And anyone who's friends with the three of us on Facebook, we probably drive you crazy because the three of us are promoting machines. But by God, that's how you're successful.
Sure.
Is you push
Sure.
your efforts.
But the thing is, we have calendars and like books that have notebooks that like have everything there for us to view. That guy didn't seem to have that kind of thing. He has everything
Yes.
in his like
head.
Yes.
he knows
In
the
his
dates and the times and what city, what stage, what
You have to
auditorium.
respect that what he does. Just again, as you said, he's not resting on what he did in the '80s,
No, not
and he
at
wasn't,
all.
and he was never Motley Crue. But he, again, I was a huge fan of Keel, but he's going on. He's making new music, and
Man, there was one thing I wished I could have told him, and not that it's not a big deal, but I heard that interview link that you sent us, and he talked about how great and underrated Mick Mars is.
I remember.
Oh my gosh, I could not agree more. I was actually kind of shocked because he said he'd put him in the ranks of Jakey Lee and George Lynch, but in a way, that's accurate because think about Motley Crue's sound would not have been Motley Crue's sound without Mick Mars. So, it's not always just about being the fastest shredder in the world. Sometimes it's just about making your band have its sound, and Mick Mars was certainly a big part of that. So that was a little Motley Crue side note.
Renee Keel loves your Walther
Oh,
shirt.
that's my girl. I knew I loved the Keels. Oh, yes.
That's cool.
That's so cool. That is my protection of choice.
Well,
Renee.
we still have some people in the chat room, and I'm sure they're waiting on
the ticket
get these
giveaway.
tickets.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know if you have the number up for people.
I do. It's on
Okay.
the screen,
and
and
you'll have to put
Stephen Pearcy.
off block or
Yeah, no, it's off now. Real quick before we do the ticket giveaway, let's talk about our sponsors because they make this show possible. And golly, guys, this is going to be a bittersweet night. It's a farewell to IDL Ballroom, but we're going to blow it out big with Stephen Pearcy and Sebastian Bach and Eddie Trunk's birthday bash. That is coming up. Gosh, I guess, what is that, a week from this Saturday, July 24th?
Wow.
Doors at 8, show at 9:30, and it's an all-star band. You can see we've got guys from Whitesnake, Alice Cooper, and Sebastian Bach's band in there. So make sure you get your tickets at stubwire.com. You cannot miss that show. That's the final national rock show at IDL, and then the three of us and our bands have the privilege of being the final local rock show at IDL Ballroom. I'm going to try to saw a piece of the stage off before I leave that night.
Right.
That's going to be Saturday, August 7th. And
So they have a frame around what's going on here?
It's a family photo.
There's a fire flame.
We had that picture taken at Olin Mills.
Did you now?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Ours
Yeah.
is like an album cover or something.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
We're in the science laboratory. Those guys are at Olin Mills.
No, well, you're looking in the window of our house right there, and we're all standing in the window. Is what it
I
is.
see.
Yeah, we're like, hey,
you
what's
guys
up?
are hungry.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
homeless DMSers.
Yeah.
That must be like a really high window.
But no, so that's going to be, I think, the last show, us, right? And you guys.
Yeah, I think that's the last show, but I'm just saying rock show, just in case they throw down like an August 8th, country jam or something.
Well,
I don't know.
We really need everybody to be at that show.
Yes, please.
So we want to pack that place out.
Please,
And
please.
send it off in fine fashion.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Identity Merch, we can't thank you enough for the amazing threads that you supply for us. Long and short sleeve t-shirts, tanks, and hoodies. Check those out at our Facebook page. Golly, I lost my train of thought. Go to Tulsa Music Stream and shop now and get a shirt if you would. And then good old Dustin Little. We love Dustin at Okie PC, practical technology and networking services for Oklahoma's local business community. Call 918-640-0892 or email Dustin at okiepc.com. Okie PC makes our streaming on multiple platform technology possible. GregShipman.com. Thank you guys for all you do for us, commercial photography, and so much more. Check out their work at GregShipman.com. Finally, Adam Richmond, Surviving Rocklahoma, makes our Zoom calls possible. We appreciate Adam. Make sure you check out Surviving Rocklahoma every week. He's a busy, busy man. Let's go back to our studio shot. There we are.
There we are.
Let's get the other shot.
What other shot?
this one.
The other camera shot.
Oh, yeah, we got to do. Hold on. Oh, God. Hold on. Ready?
Yeah.
Are we?
Look. One.
Did you even have that
Yes.
on there much?
I
Yes.
saw her switch over a little bit.
Yes.
Jana does a good job over here on the
Thanks.
on the technical, portion.
Just on
of
the
sh-
technical side, my questions are
no,
kind of
no,
lame.
no,
right?
that's not true at all. I didn't say that. Boy,
At least I didn't ask him if he had cats, right?
right,
Right.
bro.
Thanks everybody for joining the show. Everyone that joined the chat room, we want to appreciate each and every one of you. Sabbath Head, Denise Dossing, Travis, Jody Hickman, all of you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Dustin Little,
Yes.
everybody, man, you guys were great.
It was a good show.
And thanks Renee Keel for coming in. Appreciate
Man,
you
that's
as well.
so neat. Oh, my gosh.
But we do have Sebastian Bach, Stephen Pearcy, Sebastian Bach tickets at the IDL,
Yes.
and we have two free tickets that we want to give away. So if you guys, can I get a shout out in the chat room for anybody? Does anybody want to win some tickets?
Can I get a hell yeah?
I bet you can. Hell yeah.
There's Sean Brown.
There
Okay,
he
he's
is.
got his finger on the trigger ready to go.
And a knife in the other hand.
No, not at all. He's ready to win, and I don't blame him. So, can I ask the question? This is a two-part question, and we want you guys to call. You have to call in tonight because our call-in number is lonely. It has seen no action for months. So we've got it up on the screen. Scott's got it ready to answer. The call-in number is 918-512-1709. Here is your two-part question to win a pair of tickets to this awesome show. Are you guys ready? I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Okay. Stephen Pearcy, who is a recent guest of Tulsa Music Stream, left Rat in 2000 and was replaced by who? That's part one. Part two. Which Motley Crue member played rhythm guitar in Rat? So let me ask that one
He
more time.
replaced Robin Crosby.
He replaced. Okay, so we're going to say this again. Stephen Pearcy left Rat in 2000 and was replaced by who? Which Motley Crue member played rhythm guitar in Rat, replacing Robin Crosby?
Oh,
Wow.
Pizza Hut.
Hey, how you doing?
Uh-oh.
Well,
hold on.
Yeah.
We got to put you on Bluetooth. Hold on.
They're connected.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hello, Tulsa Music Stream.
Oh, my goodness. Sit tight with us.
Hold on.
We should have tested.
There we go.
Ah.
There we go. Tulsa Music Stream. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Good.
Who's this?
Who we speaking with?
This is Michael Davignon.
Okay. What is the answer?
Jizzy Pearl was a singer. John Crosby was a guitarist.
You got
Gosh.
it.
Dun, 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 boo! Well, yes, that is correct.
So can you go in the chat room and let me see you and say I won. Post in there and say I won in that way.
Why are you making him do that?
I didn't hear his full name.
On the chat.
Oh, it's my. Yeah, I got you, bud.
Okay.
I got you covered.
I didn't hear the full name.
So here's the deal, Michael. All you have to do to claim your tickets is just go to the front door that night and give them your name and just say that you're on the Tulsa Music Stream guest list. But now don't everybody do that. Only Michael can do that. Okay, because he's the big winner. Congratulations on knowing your Rat trivia. That's very impressive.
Yes.
Well, they're only one of my favorite bands ever. So
Right on.
yeah.
Well, congratulations. You got 2 free tickets to go see Stephen Pearcy and, of course, Sebastian Bach. It's going to be a kick-ass show, and I'll be there. So hopefully the Tulsa Music Stream will be there interviewing a couple of people like Sebastian Bach and Stephen.
Like
But we'll have fun, and we'll see you out there, Michael. So congratulations.
Congrats,
and
man.
Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you continue to watch our shows.
Thank you, buddy.
Oh, absolutely. You guys do a great job.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
man.
much, man.
We try. We're just a bunch
Oh,
of
real quick.
goofy musicians, but we're trying.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, real quick. You were talking about Steeler and getting the other guy. I actually have a contact information for Mark Edwards, the original drummer that was on that first Steeler album.
Bring it on. Drop us a
Yeah,
message.
Okay, I'll get it for you and get it sent to you.
And then you too will be a sponsor of Tulsa Music Stream.
Let them know that we've already had half the band on.
Yeah, Ingve's next.
Oh well, he's a super nice guy. He lives in
Nice.
Dallas.
Fantastic. We'd
Cool.
love to talk to him, man. That'd be cool. Well, listen, congratulations, and we'll see you out at IDL a week from this Saturday.
I will be there. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, guys.
Have
Thanks,
a good
bud.
night,
Take
man.
care.
There you
That's
Y'all
go.
have a good one.
Thanks,
All right.
bud. Bye.
There you go. Jizzy Pearl.
Yep,
Yeah.
and he's we have him on an
Oh, we
upcoming
do.
show as
That's
well.
right, we do.
So we got Jizzy Pearl, which was I kind of put that in there together because Stephen was on our show
Right.
previous, and then
Right.
we have a future guy.
Good thinking, man.
I see what you did
But
there.
yeah, Jizzy Pearl, and who was the other one? John
Now,
Karabi.
if Udo's guitar player was the guy that replaced Robin Crosby, that would have worked out even.
Yes,
perfectly.
that's probably true. Yeah.
Wow. Like you said, oh man.
Oh no, they're
Hey, it's a call-in session.
Well,
Hi,
we're done,
Mazios.
Well, no, let's see what they want.
huh?
Maybe they had something really
Yeah, you should've
important
just-
to say.
You should have just answered it so we could like talk to them.
It's therapy time.
It's just talk time.
Think so?
I don't know.
Should I call
Let's
them
just
back?
give them a call back and let's put them on the air.
Why not?
All right.
Yeah. let's
This
do
is
that.
reminiscent of our
Thanks for
last
calling
episode.
Tulsa Music Stream. Your call
Hey,
is very important
That's
to us.
me.
Please leave a message.
Did you just call us?
Not intentionally. No. It's probably Alex Grossi.
Oh, right. That's yeah.
just enough.
Yeah, you're.
Boy.
Well, that was weird. I wonder. It was
I
a
don't-
512-1709.
That's our
called me.
number. That's ghosts for you.
Weird.
So we're
Well-
gonna be back in what 8
I didn't.
days?
I didn't hang up on fans.
8 days.
Oh, that was Sean Brown said he tried to call.
Damn it.
For-
Sean, we'll
Hey, you know
We'll
what?
figure
We'll
something
we'll
out.
get some more tickets, Sean, and
Yes.
and we're gonna be giving more away. Hopefully,
yeah,
so.
don't give up. We've got time. Let's see. Okay, when is that show? Holy shit. There we go.
Let's talk.
Is that me calling?
Hey, Tulsa Music Stream. Who we speaking with? Oh, you know what? I gotta keep going through here and hit that.
Wait,
And
don't
then-
hang up.
Hey, Tulsa Music Stream. How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey,
Hello?
how's it going?
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? This is
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Who's this?
Hey.
Yeah.
who is this?
This is Sean Brown Moonshine.
Hell yeah. What's going on, Moonshine?
Did you guys already win? Did somebody already answer the question?
Yes, unfortunately, but we're going to have more tickets, hopefully.
Yeah.
Are we doing another episode? Wait a minute. Yeah, we are doing another episode. No, Sean,
No,
it's
I
okay.
think there's gonna be another chance. Hopefully, we can get a couple more tickets for the next show, and I think that's during the what show is that?
The Jizzy Pearl of Quiet
Yeah.
Riot,
Yeah.
coming up on Wednesday, July 21st at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I'll trade Doug like some rocket science T-shirts for some tickets, and we'll work it out.
There you go.
Yeah,
We'll get tickets for that show too. Why not?
right. Hang in there, buddy. Don't give up.
All right.
Right on, man.
All right, buddy.
Take
right.
care, man.
See you, bro.
Thanks, y'all.
See ya.
All right, man.
Okay.
All right.
So I kind of lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? I don't.
Peas and carrots. I don't really know.
Uh,
I lost mine too. It
Yeah.
derailed.
it's just I'm just kind of sitting here.
All right. Well,
Hold
hey,
on.
that's pretty cool.
Well,
we got
hey.
some phone action. We haven't
I
had any
liked
phone
it.
Oh
action. in a
yeah,
while.
no, we needed this. We needed this moment right here to get it out of us. We needed all this.
You know what? There is a
We're
question.
still 24 listeners, and
we
we're
need
not
to-
doing anything.
We need to have we need to have like the Howard Stern, situation where the girl gets on there and hums, and or
Right,
or he
yeah.
hums and she lays on the
on the speaker. Hi, baby. How you doing?
So wait, we do have a question from Travis Beauchamp. He says,
All right.
any news on a new venue location when Ideal closes? Not that we have heard, but by all means, stay in contact with DEB Concerts, because he has an outdoor stage that is going to be mobile, and I think they're putting it somewhere on the land over at Safari Joe's. They've already got a cool Sugar Ray show lined up at that stage, so there's at least an outdoor stage option. Now, as far as like what happens when it's 15 below outside, I don't know, but hopefully that's being worked on and discussed. And
You talking about the acoustic stuff that's going on with the month of, or am I
yeah,
off base?
no, I already talked about that.
Okay.
But do you want me to talk about it
No,
again? Or-
no, but man,
no.
I totally forgot here's some questions I wanted to ask him. I wanted to ask
I
about
can answer them for you.
Steve Riley playing drums on the Right to Rock album. I didn't get to talk to him about that. And I didn't want. I also had a question about Yngwie calling Steeler a cookie cutter band.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, that's because Yngwie was in the neoclassical kind of stuff coming from Europe, and Ron Keel was about American metal, and they just kind of clashed, you know.
I
It
wanted
happens.
to see if he agreed if they were a cookie cutter.
I'll be honest.
What kind of cookies do you think?
peanut butter?
Well, back then they were all kind of starting at the same time. I mean, you know what I mean? They were
Yeah.
like,
I love shredding as much as the next guitar player, but give me a good song over shredding
I
any
agree.
day, right?
Yeah, I
It
agree.
should be about the song. And if you can put your ego in check,
if you squeeze
You
out
know.
all the cookies, and they all like form into their own little
cookie balls.
cookie. I mean, that's basically what was going on there in L.A. Is
Right.
I feel like baking. How about
Right.
you?
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We are Tulsa Music
Yes,
Stream.
I do.
It's a
Yeah,
Monday,
okay.
Tuesday night.
Okay. Well,
It is. What are you guys doing tonight?
Going to bed.
Well, the last thing I'm gonna do is give a shout out to. We need to give you a title. Show contributor Teresa Gaddy. She's been sitting in a very uncomfortable metal chair for like an hour and a half now, helping us. And God
Eight
love
Ball
her.
says yes.
A Paul says abadoo.
Oh, it's foreign.
All
On-
right.
on-
Well, thank you, Michael. He is the winner of the night, and so is Ron Keel. We have two winners of the night.
Boy, no
and
doubt.
We are also winners. So
So we should let you guys know, and we will be back here on next Wednesday. Wait, what is to? Yeah,
Be Wednesday.
a week from tomorrow night, Wednesday, July 21st at 7 p.m. with Jizzy Pearl. Mark your calendar, put a reminder in your phone, and join us then. Thank you, as always, for your support of this show. And the artists that are on it, please continue supporting all things rock and roll, because you do have the right to rock out there.
If you didn't catch us live and you're watching this at a different time, thank you for going back and watching the show. YouTube.
Share it with your people. We love you. See you next Wednesday, July 21st, episode 37 with Jizzy Pearl. Have a good night.
Good day.
Goodbye.